What's up, you filthy flapjacks? I'm Wes, and you're listening to the Ear Coffee Podcast. For today's extra long episode, I talked to indie punk quartet Vial. In 2 days, they'll be putting out their fantastic debut record, Grow Up. We talked about the band's mission statement, the highs and lows of the scene, the record itself, and so much more. It's undoubtedly the most chaotic episode we've ever done, but it was a ton of fun. Here's our interview with Taylor, Katie, Kate, and KT of Vial. Welcome to the latest episode of the Ear Coffee Podcast. Today I am joined by Vial. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Let's go around the semicircle and y'all can introduce yourselves, because sometimes I forget to do that, but we're remembering today.
I'm KT. Is that all I should say?
What instrument you play?
I play guitar.
I'm Kate. I play bass. I'm Taylor, and I play the guitar.
And I'm Katie, and I play drums.
I'm glad we got Taylor in the middle, so it's not just a row of KT.
Yeah. Break it up a little bit.
You don't belong. I'm just kidding.
Let's not kick anyone out of the band yet. We'll save that for the last couple minutes of the episode.
Okay, we're here without you.
So I always like to start the interview, especially with bands that haven't done, that aren't super well, not
How
super
dare
well, but
you.
they haven't been on shows before. Their backstory isn't out there.
Yeah.
Is I think a better way of putting it than they're just not known. No, y'all are super known, I'd say.
Dude, what?
Well, you're gigging so hard. We'll get into that though.
Yeah.
But I like to ask, just how did each one of you get into music at first? Because usually that happens. You get into music and then the band comes second. But there have been exceptions where someone's like, "Hey, join our band." Like, I don't know what music is, and then they learn. Maybe that's the case, maybe not. But I'm interested to hear how each of you kind of got to play your instrument.
I was in 8th grade, so about 8 or 9 years, which is kind of disgusting. But I wanted to do something outside of sports, which I was doing a lot back in middle school, and I decided to pick up the guitar. And then that kind of snowballed when I started doing lessons, and here we are today.
Huzzah.
Huzzah.
Ooh.
Did you pick up bass just a little bit later on, or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. So I picked up bass a little bit later on. I started with the guitar, and then I transferred high schools. About halfway through high school, I went to Main Street School of Performing Arts, and when I was there, I started experimenting with bass and other stuff, and really stuck with and loved the bass.
Yeah, cool.
I've always been in music. I've always been singing and playing piano and that kind of stuff. But I can remember the one time when I started taking it seriously. This is a true story. I went to a Smash Mouth concert, and there was this opening band, and it was this band of kids, and I was like, oh, holy shit, that's so cool.
How old were you?
Maybe 13.
Sure.
And I went to this after-school program, and that was where these kids, was from this after-school program. And so I joined that program as well, and that was kind of an after-school lessons and performance-based organization, and that's where I met Kate, and Kate was actually a huge dick to me at first.
Still am.
But I think that's why we work together so well, is that we actually really fucking hate each other.
Oh, God.
We built our friendship.
Yeah.
On a foundation of hate.
On a foundation of hate, yes.
I can't wait for the Obi-Wan Anakin breakup moment later on. Just No, don't. I don't want that to happen. That sounded bad. They're bonding.
I've been in music all my life as well, and I joined the same organization as you guys, but
Nondescript organization.
The CIA of music.
But I didn't join until a little bit later than them because they're old. Yeah. I don't know what else to say. I picked up. I became very emo in 7th grade, and that's when I started getting back into music again, because when I was little I was like, hell yeah, music, I like to sing and stuff, and then I started doing sports as well, and then that was kind of my life for a while. But then yeah, my whole 5 Seconds of Summer phase came along and changed everything. So thank you, 5 Seconds of Summer. Shout out to you guys. Honestly, you're the reason Vial exists right now. Okay.
Anyway, my story.
Just so we move on quick.
Let's just move on. Similar to Taylor, I've been playing piano since I was like 5. So piano was like my first instrument. And then I did the cello in 4th grade. And I hated it.
Oh, no.
Because 4th grade cello is just whole notes and it was boring. And then I was like, I'm going to do the exact opposite of this. So then I did percussion in 5th grade and I never looked back.
Never look back.
Yeah.
When did you start playing kit? Because, I mean, in more band
5th grade.
Literally just right, started. They just don't let the 5th graders play kit. That's cool.
It was, I played kit for one song and it was called Geology, the Study of Rock.
I've played that.
You have?
In
That's
7th grade,
so
my
fun.
band played that. Not even
6th
kidding.
grade, babe. Yeah.
Maybe we just
But
sucked
I
and you guys were
never,
cooler.
I played drums in a band in like senior year of high school and it was for one show and then we broke up. This is my first like real band and
Respect.
it's so fun.
This is also my first real band.
Yeah, I think this is
first
all of
real
ours.
band.
Oh, really? Well, you guys were in like organizations.
Right, but that wasn't a real band. I was in a band, but we rehearsed once, and one of us lived in Mankato, and the other one I don't remember where she lived, but it was pretty far away as well. So it never happened.
Yeah.
Just airdropping or like Dropboxing tracks and trying to make it something
Yeah.
work.
Taylor and I were actually in a band together
No.
at the end of high school, very briefly. It was a shooting star. It shot across and then faded out very quickly. I never played.
Wait, what was the
show.
what was the name of the band?
I forget.
No, you
I
don't.
think Taylor remembers.
Oh, no, I think Kate remembers as well, but we've kind of blacklisted it from our mind.
No judgment. If
You guys have to tell me
Kate
later.
really wants to say it. I can
Kate,
tell.
Kate wants to say it.
Well, Taylor joked about it. It was the Blacklist.
Oh, subtle joke. Okay. So many coded words in this interview.
Read between the lines, guys.
Yeah, that's the most NPR thing about this. You have to decode the interview. Oh my god. Well, now that we've kind of gone over each respective backstory, like any good story has, how did you all come together to make Vial? I think Kate, you joined later. No, at least from like the rehearsal videos on.
Oh,
You were
so-
just in absentee.
Yes.
Okay.
So the rehearsal videos. I was actually in DC this summer for 2 months. I
Kate
had
was
an
absolutely killing it in DC, and that's why they weren't here.
I was interning for a member of Congress.
Oh, that's
for
so
the
cool.
summer, so they had to do some stuff without me.
Yeah,
It was very fun.
tragedy, but also very, very, very exciting.
Yeah, keeping it fresh.
Yeah. Well, okay. Now that one question is answered, how did you all actually come together?
Why don't you guys
to
tell
make
your
Vial?
side of the story first?
Okay, so we hated Katie at first, so we just wanted to make it know. We began as like just me, Katie, and Kate.
That's not
all in
true.
the band.
We had a male drummer,
Well, yes.
Male.
No,
and
as a male, that disgusts me.
no, he was a great person, but like I just don't think he was as involved in it as we were. Not into it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we specifically very much wanted like a femme thing where every single person had some connection at least to the efforts. So hello. But yeah, no, so we ended up oh my god, it's a cat.
That's why we usually lock the cats up during interviews because people's like, oh, cat.
Okay, we'll ignore the cat.
Yeah, so it started out just the three of us when we started taking it really seriously, but we were sans a drummer. And so we tried to put up like some posters around town. Wasn't really working.
Did you guys get any
No.
anything?
I think so.
None that were like real offers or like things that I would even dream to consider. But we wanted to just like find someone. And I remembered specifically because I had just graduated from Tinder that there was
Graduated.
Like it's a college.
Yes. That there are so many like awesome badass femmes on Tinder just trying to have a good ass time. And so I was like, fuck dude, let's make a band Tinder. Just say we're not looking for dick, we're looking for a drummer. And we basically just swiped right on every single artistic person until we found our baby Katie.
How did you know I was artistic?
You had a picture in there
yeah.
if you played in the whatever band.
Pep band.
Pep band.
High school.
What a bold thing
I
to
played
put
the
on
snare
Tinder.
drum.
Hell yeah.
Listen, I'm looking for someone who's cool with me being a band nerd. Well, I was looking. I'm in a relationship. But
Okay.
but I was, when was this? Like March or May
I
of
think
this
it was
year?
March
2019.
or May.
They
Something
both
that
start with
started
M.
with
It was
Yeah.
March. It was totally March because we started gigging around like June
July.
and May and around then.
Okay, so it was March.
I was single at the time and I was on Tinder, and I honestly never used Tinder for what it was for. I just it's kind of fun to just like look at people's profiles. But then I saw you guys and they'd done like a photo shoot, so they looked like cool. And they were like, we know some of your drummer bitches are out there. That was like your description. And I was like, that looks fun. And then their names were Kate, KT, and Taylor. And so I messaged them. I was like, my name's Katie, so I feel like I'll fit in. And they were like, yeah,
Gotta check the
probably.
phone.
I'm turning it off so I don't have any more disturbances.
And then we met up, and it was love at first sight. And I deleted Tinder. Best thing to come out of Tinder, honestly.
One of the only good things, probably,
Yeah.
because it's
No, it was fun.
great. What inspired you guys to use crowdfunding and do the Indiegogo? Because that is something I've never seen before in the scene. It was just like, oh, this is really unique, really cool. You had like the in-studio recordings or like the rehearsal space recordings and like your whole mission statement written out, which is rare for bands to have just in general. Like, I don't know, evidence of you existing and also what you believe. Cool. But still no lyrics on Bandcamp. Come on. You guys do, which is amazing. What inspired that? Because I know like it was obviously monetary, but there's also the intense amount of gigging y'all were doing. Yeah, I guess just kind of what was the thought process behind that? Because it was clearly a success.
Yeah. All right. I'm getting looked at. So basically, I felt like we had something to do, and I felt like we had to do it like now. So like we played our first gig on June 29th. So everything went very quickly, and that was kind of the goal, was to just speed everything up. But specifically with the crowdfunding, we wanted to have extra funds in order to collaborate with the most people. We saw an issue in this scene beforehand where the same people were working with the same people, not allowing any windows for any people, you know, who specifically like femme artists and that kind of stuff to come through and really shine and promote their work. So we wanted extra money to pay, you know, more videographers, more visual artists to just kind of showcase what they can do via Vial.
Via Vial.
Via Vial. No, absolutely not.
Just a beep.
But yeah, that was my intention, was just to like
Okay.
get something and get it out fast because we had something to say, and it felt important.
Yeah, and I think you can really see, like, how that was able to translate into Grow Up. We had I don't know, I'm talking past tense, but we had 3 different femme artists who designed each of our single and album covers.
Yeah.
We have so many different people. We had so we had the music video, and we have another music video coming out sometime soon. And
I think it'll have been out by the time this comes out. So
Probably.
oh, perfect.
go watch it right now because
Yes.
it exists.
Yeah, yesterday
Dude, that's
it
so
exists.
weird.
Watch the video. But with that, we also had all femmes who helped and like made the videos and edited the videos, directed the videos. So it was very nice to have that little extra money just to start with, to be able to fully realize what we wanted to do.
Also, recording music is expensive.
Oh,
And
undoubtedly.
really want to pay people what they're worth, you know, because a lot of the time people who aren't like super well known or super well established, they don't get paid what they're worth, and so that was really
the people that
important
do
to
get to record just like have a connection, like someone's doing them a favor because like they're trust fund kids and they
Exactly.
can,
I think
Your
something-
trust fund can't buy you talent. What?
I think something good we did was instead of being like, we asked what people wanted to be paid instead of giving them a price that we wanted to pay.
Yes.
Because, yeah.
it's
don't
so
know.
hard to place a monetary value on that.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of artists that aren't well known, or they don't get a lot of people, like they don't get a lot of gigs doing what they like to do. They'll like take anything that they can get, and so like
Build a
you'll
portfolio or
yeah.
stuff like that.
if you'll be like,
For
I'll give
exposure.
you $20 to do a whole photo shoot, and they'll be like, I need that $20. I'll take whatever I can get, and that's just so crappy. I don't know.
Yeah.
So without an Indiegogo page, we wouldn't be able to pay people what they're worth, and so
Yeah, that's I think the best possible reason, other than just like affording recording, because as you said, that is super freaking expensive.
Oh my gosh.
In addition to that, there's obviously all the gigging just hasn't really stopped up until like fairly recently. Like, oh my god, it's like seriously. I was so overwhelmed by how many gigs you played, I lost my train of thought. Oh god.
I didn't even realize it was like a ton until Sage, the drummer from Nice Huh, was like, we play like one show a month and it's too much.
And then they go on tour.
And then we play like 2 a week, and then as soon as we get a week off, we're all like,
I'm
we're bored.
sad.
And we don't play show.
I take a lot of naps when we're not like gigging.
Exactly.
Too many naps.
Just get lethargic. Like,
But we're getting right back into like the gig culture as
Yeah.
soon
Oh,
as
as soon as December starts.
Oh,
So
and then we take a short break over the holidays, and then we're right back into
right back in.
I think
Yeah.
the longest break we've taken up until now has been 9 days.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was too much.
it was sad.
It was really sad.
I regained my train of thought. With how many shows y'all are playing, when we saw you at the Row House 1.0 gig, you did like the Lizzo cover, did a Nirvana cover. Was when you started playing shows, did you have a lot of the songs that are on Grow Up already kind of worked out? Or was it a mixture of that and cover? No.
I think our first gig, honestly, the only ones that I can remember playing are Therapy and Rough. Maybe.
Yeah,
Did we have anything else yet?
I don't know.
we
to
booked
think.
our first show to try to like push us, because we'd have these rehearsals and then we'd just like bro the fuck out at every single rehearsal and
We
not
like,
get
did not get anything done.
we didn't get anything done. And then we were asked to play the show by She Rock, which shout out She Rock, we love them. We were asked to play the show, and I was like, what if we booked the show? And that's what finally forces us to actually get our shit together.
Yeah.
And it did. It really
It worked.
did. It really did. And that's how the Nirvana cover came about, because we were like, this song is dope and also very easy to learn.
I feel like that was a pattern. We're like, we have a show that has a 45-minute set time. We don't have enough songs to 45 minutes. Let's write 3 more songs for that show.
just learn 2 songs, just loop them for the entire set.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
what
yeah.
you have to do.
We've literally written songs in like that are on the album as of currently that were written for the sole purpose to fill out time on a bill that we didn't have enough music for. But they're really great songs. Like they're
fantastic
not
songs.
bad. They're
They definitely
No.
evolved from the first
Well, of
time we played
course.
them.
That'll happen
But
even if
the
they were
meat-
written
Meat
anytime.
and potatoes of it.
it's
We
meaningful.
wrote in like a day.
And you'll find that a lot of our songs are very easy because of that. Like a lot of,
Yeah.
I think a few of them use the same exact chords. And, oh, sorry.
The key of A.
Our favorite
love the
key
key of
is
A.
the key of A.
It's 145. That's all you need.
Yep.
Yeah, I definitely heard that. Just like the almost elegant simplicity. Being like, oh, I mean, I just
Elegant
started crying because there was no guitar.
A way to put it.
I was mourning the lack of guitars. But I'll ask more about that later. Now that we've kind of covered the pre-album stuff, we can start talking about the actual album, Grow Up, which is coming out Well, I think it'll be out. I'm not sure, but it is out as of November 29th, which is either before or after you're listening to this. It's up to you to decide. Something that I noticed, at least on my first listen through, is given the mission statement, for lack of a better word, you have put on like Bandcamp and everywhere. The only song that was really explicitly about that was DIY, and obviously that's freaking banger. And very explicitly takes that on. As we were just listening to it on the way back from getting donuts this morning, Joe noticed it. I was like, "Oh, has like a very Riot Girl vibe," which is stereotypical to say, but like, if I don't say it, then like the DIY guy was like, "Shoot me" or something. But it's very explicitly about like punk gatekeeping of non-male, non-white people, which is a huge issue just across any scene, I'm sure. And then there's like a line about the paper house. Did I mishear that?
No, you absolutely heard
okay.
that correctly. We love the paper house. It's honestly, the song is a whole roast about like everybody. It's a roast on us even. Like,
Yeah.
It's a roast on the whole community.
Yeah. It's just like a vibe check, honestly.
It really is.
Just to make sure that everybody is like aware of their own, like how their own economic standing suits them and how their own like identities and the way that they present suits them in certain ways. Like even being femmes, it suits us in certain ways and doesn't in others. But yeah, that we've never written too explicitly about our mission statement because we feel like we live our mission statement more than we write our mission statement.
Okay.
And like we talk about it a lot, but we think that our, like, at least personally, I feel like our very presence says enough about it. Cause like we'll get people just coming up to us and then like that's what they talk about. So it's clearly what people are taking away, whether or not it's in the like content of the music, which I prefer. It's more of just like subliminal, like us being here is a statement in itself, which it shouldn't be, but it is.
Yeah, you shouldn't be expected to write a bunch of songs about your identities just to justify you being on a bill or something. Like that's...
Exactly.
Yeah.
It also shows just, like, I like it a lot that... wow, that wasn't great English, but I really like how most of our songs aren't about that because it also shows that even though we have this mission statement and, you know, we have DIY that's about that, we are fully formed people and fully formed musicians. And so even though we are implicitly making this statement by just existing and being here and playing a show or doing that, we also are like real people other than what we're trying to do in our activism. And I think a lot of our songs are very real and very personal. And so I think
a lot of them are very personal.
They are all very personal. But I think it shows some depth that is really good, especially with underrepresented bands. They're not just there to be the femmes on the bill and just have all of the punk.
The token.
The token.
Definitely been the token before.
I love it. I love it.
But you know what? It, again, like you said, it kind of suits us.
Yeah.
You need to show up and like do some
least they're
chaotic
trying.
set of playing like covers that you learned, like that you haven't even learned, just like have like the chord sheets in front of you, just kind of stick like the middle finger to whoever booked the show.
Yeah.
I mean,
Or just burn down Acadia. Just,
it's definitely
I
like,
would
Oh
love
my
to-
God, Larry.
Larry.
oh my God.
Well, now we can't.
So
'cause
many
we talked
stories
about
about
it on the podcast.
No, cut that out.
Shit. But yeah.
no spoilers for public arson.
Wow.
Are you upset, Katie?
I was just saying, there's so many stories about Larry. We don't even need to get into it, man.
We
Or
do
just,
not
like,
need to get into that.
We can go down a
Being
rabbit hole of
disrespected
Larry, man.
in general.
Yeah. I think in as many ways as it suits us, being femmes also puts us through a lot of bullshit.
That's the way I would describe it.
It's very bittersweet.
Yes.
Yes.
The eyes are all on us, but sometimes it's eyes that are not going to be as accepting of, you know, four femmes with instruments.
We
Very
constantly
chaotic energy.
we constantly get asked if we know what things are, if we know how to work things. Like what was that one time somebody told you this is how to turn on the bass amp.
Oh my god.
Yes, it was a switch. In fact, I do know how to turn on a switch.
See, also
Wow.
the on-off.
This is the real revelation of the interview.
Just to
Kate knows how to turn on the bass.
to any men or something out there, people something out there listening, like I know it may not seem like it, but when you ask, do you know what this thing is or do you know how to work this? I know you may be trying to help, but it just sounds so like condescending and
Disrespectful.
Think about how you like approach it. 'Cause
yeah.
there are, I guess, instances where people could be helpful, but just like the way that they...
Generally, a rule of thumb is if we need help with something, we'll ask.
Yeah.
Which I've definitely done
Exactly.
before.
Absolutely.
Sometimes I'm like, hey, Sage, can you come help me with this?
I'd also like to point out the show that we were asked if Kate knew how to turn on the bass amp was the same show that we had set up and were actively working sound for. Like, it was just like one of those things that like we clearly know what we're doing, but to, I guess, the ignorant eye, you can just totally ignore the fact that we're going up to the soundboard and making you sound fantastic, and then right afterwards you're like, hey, do you know how to turn the on button on a bass amp?
But dude, the vibes.
Right. Oh my God. Tell
They're
the
so
story about those dudes
Oh
who
my
broke your PA system.
So at the
Oh.
same gig, the same gig,
Yeah, I've seen the
show.
tweets. Yeah.
the same, yeah, no, okay. So I have absolutely nothing against this band besides the fact that they broke my PA, but it was so
That sounds like something against...
I mean, okay.
Valid. Yeah.
So I am a very particular person when it comes to my sound equipment. I mean, a lot of musicians are like, there's usually just my rule of thumb, which is like the knobby things. Keep your fucking grubby ass fingers off of them, please. I have put them perfectly, and there's so many times where like a dude will be like, I'm gonna look like I know what I'm
This
doing.
mix doesn't work.
Well, like turning up the gain all the way, I'm like, well, there was a reason why it was at exactly where it needed
Yeah.
to be. But that's what these guys did, and they turned their amps all the way up and just were blaring to the point where like it was so loud. I think it was the loudest set I've ever heard in my life. And I go up to them, I said, hey man, like it's my PA. Would you mind turning down just like all of the instruments, all of the amps,
down the
just a
gain a
little
little
bit?
bit.
Like then you can hear the vocals better. I'm trying to like negotiate.
About your own equipment.
Yeah, please help me, dear God. And they look at me square in the eyes and they say, but the vibes, bro.
And that was it.
And then they broke my PA. Like they literally shorted it out. It sounds like we're singing through water now. And so now we have to
That's a different vibe.
it's not our vibe. Those are not the vibes, bro. So it became an ongoing meme. But we are actively saving up after this album for a new PA. But I'll set my foot down a little bit more sternly next time. But I was so taken aback by fucking vibes, bro. Vibes,
Just
bro.
so surprised.
Fuck, dude. Hello? Get out of here.
The next album has to be like a concept record about vibes or something. And it's just super loud.
I did
We're
not
definitely
want
gonna
PA.
name a song "Cut the Vibes."
we
bro.
wrote a song
We did.
called I wrote a song. You did? Called Bitch Poser.
Yeah.
And it's kind of for all of the people within the DIY community that kind of act like that. And they're just kind of
Oh wow!
shitty.
Can't wait to hear that.
It's the big dick energy that kind of comes behind DIY, I think, which is also what the song DIY is also about.
Yeah.
It's kind of just like we're all in this battle together, and the more that
Why
you
are we
push,
not supporting each other?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
more that you push against each other and don't support each other, is just going to not suit you in the long run. So
Yeah. With the, I guess lyrics, the instrumentals, how just in general, how does that come together? Like, does one of you come with lyrics? Is it mostly you, Taylor, just as the vocalist? That's often not the case, but it's sometimes a fair assumption. I like to ask. And then once you, like, did lyrics come after the fact? Just, I guess, talk about your songwriting process, and everyone can contribute in how they kind of come up with their parts, with if they contribute lyrics, or how communal it is, because everyone does it different.
What's great about our band is that there's like not. I mean, it kind of seems like it because Taylor has a lot of songs that she sings, but like we all sing. We all sing.
Yeah.
No, but
And
for
outside
real.
of just gang vocals, I'm assuming.
yes,
Because
Yeah.
like there's some like the fun chanty parts on the record.
Oh yeah.
Like everyone's
So
just,
KT does Grow Up and Tension.
okay.
And then Katie leads on Therapy as well.
Oh, that's
I do
killer.
some of the sexy, like, talking in the middle.
I
That's what
do
we
the
like to call it.
screaming part.
My dad says he loves that, by the way.
Usually,
You're the scream, the clean vocal.
Yeah, there we go.
but for writing music, it's like Taylor has a lot of songs just because she writes a lot of songs, and so like when we bring a song in, it's usually whoever brings the song in sings it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
that's a
yeah.
good rule of thumb generally.
Did all four of you sing at gigs? Or is,
We've all
I
sung
feel like you did at least the one time we've seen you live, but that was like feels like years ago.
I actually have only sung at one gig, and it was the
Most
Palace
recent.
Moon Palace.
Books,
The Titus
benefit
Yetus.
show,
Titus
Titus
Yetus. Yeah.
So that was the first time that I was in front of a mic with Vial. It was a very good time.
I'd never heard
I-
Kate scream before, and they
So
screamed,
good.
and I like had a moment. I was like, "You need to scream on every single song that we have after this." It's such
So
a
good.
fantastic scream.
So the guitar.
Yeah.
Where did the idea for that come from? How come it's not on the album? Because I want
It
like
is.
It is.
Okay,
Is it just like
so-
mixed really low? Am I just deaf?
Okay, so the keytar it's like a synthesizer, so it has a ton of different patches. I prefer a bass patch, and then I
Oh.
put it through a distortion pedal. So Kate and I are down at the same frequencies. She's very clean, and I'm very dirty. So it's the like really like farty, just guttural.
If you hear like, like that's the
It's
guitar.
that.
I just want to say that I feel dumb as shit because I saw the guitar and I'm like expecting to be like
Yeah.
just like these
Yeah,
little
that's not the
synth
vibe.
patches and just like these little newts and stuff.
Oh no, it's
No.
like it's guttural. It's a really big.
that makes
punch in the
so much
face.
more sense.
Yeah.
Because after we saw you live, I was like, what? I didn't hear, there was like no guitar solo. What? There was, and I'm just wrong.
It's all the way down there because Kate and I are just hanging around those bassy tones, just honking away down there.
And
this,
I
this
think
is the only thing I want out of this interview.
the guitar is very aesthetic as well.
Yes,
It's
it-
not
Honestly.
all
Yeah.
it's not all about the honks, it's
No.
about the look, man.
Exactly. It's so
Yeah. I
punk,
love
just
it.
big, red,
But the
all
vibe.
about the vibes.
ugly as shit.
It really started though because Kate was going to DC, and we're like, we need a bass real bad.
Yeah.
And
How do
so
we do
what was the idea? You were like, what could we do? And
Yeah.
then I was like, my little brother has a toy guitar.
Yeah. And I had remembered this one song by Babies in Toyland. Shout out Minneapolis locals. Hell yeah. They have this song called Sweet 69 where the bass sounds like a fart the whole time. And it's so beautiful. It's like so powerful. I don't know why. But I was like, what if we did that? Because we'll never be able to emulate like an actual bass with a keytar. It sounds so bad. So we were just like, then let's not. Let's make it a new thing. Farty bass patch on a keytar.
Dude, when I was so used to the guitar and Kate came back and played an actual bass, and I was like, this is so lovely. It's so pretty.
It's like relatively, it's just like jazz versus just this lo-fi. It's like, oh, it's so elegant. Oh,
Yeah.
That's, yep, that's all I wanted.
Yeah.
That's
I remember
all
we
I
made a
wanted to
tweet
know.
one time that's like, if you hear a distant sounding fart in the back of our mixes, that's the guitar and it sounds impeccable. And that still rings true.
I think you mean it still farts true.
Haha.
Ha!
I hate it.
I hate it.
Kill it. I'm never playing a guitar ever again.
Quit.
No,
I think
what?
we should name the guitar Farticus.
Spartacus.
We do
Farticus.
tend to have names.
Farticus Maximus.
Farticus Maximus. We tend to have
Somebody
names
else
for
from
things.
our
That's
song.
good. You recorded this with Abe. And
Hell yeah.
we absolutely love Abe
Oh, we do too.
and everything about him. What was it like working with him? How did you get connected? Was it like through Brace Cove? Because, I mean, Brace Cove, nice. There's a connection there. Yeah, just talk a little bit about that.
Abe is the sweetest, most kindest guy.
We
He's
love
so
Abe.
great.
Yeah.
He puts up with us so well.
Oh my god.
Because again, like I said, we turned into goblins, and he really put up with it.
Yeah.
Like, so thankful to him.
I'm just, when I interviewed him about his solo EP, I was just so surprised given that pretty much everything I've heard from Nice has been Roddy, just from like
Oh my
Twitter
God.
and social media.
Yeah.
It's like, how is Roddy in a band with Sage and Abe of all people?
Yeah.
They must, I don't know either of them personally or very well. don't say anything.
I'm not gonna.
But it's just such an interesting dynamic, given just how like he just seems like someone who like
He's so chill.
just like you just pick up an animal and they'll just immediately like trust him or something.
Yes,
sure.
that's
Truly.
totally
For sure.
I can
that's the
imagine him
vibe.
sitting in like a field with like a sheep and just like
A
petting
sheep?
the sheep as his long blonde hair just kind of like
Blows in the
flows
wind.
down.
Yes.
Yeah, I love
Oh
that
my
scene from
God,
Midsummer.
Fabio?
Yeah, no, honestly, that's what I've actually said one time is that he looks like somebody from Midsummer.
In the best way.
Yeah, no,
in the
I've
non
never seen
going to
Midsummer.
crush your skull like a watermelon.
Yeah.
No spoilers.
I
didn't
think
It's in the trailer.
I haven't even seen
It's
it.
I
in
haven't
the
seen it
trailer.
either. We should all watch it together.
I won't say any more, though.
No, I don't care.
Okay. If you have no
Honestly,
interest.
in the album, there's a part in it. We wanted to have butt sounds, and
Other than the
butt
guitar?
sounds, by butt sounds, we mean like butt claps. We're
Yeah.
not like just farting
like,
into
we
the mics.
wanted here's what
Like-
we wanted. We wanted to add claps. And I wasn't there when this happened. So you guys can tell the story.
so we were thinking about smacking our ass into the microphone so that we could get like the really good ring that we were looking for.
The right timbre,
And so
timbre
then-
of
Not
clap.
bare ass.
Yeah,
keep in
no.
mind.
So then when we told this to Abe, he was like, "Oh, all right,
Ha, ha,
okay, so
ha,
it's
sure.
yeah." And then he goes and does some stuff on our computer, and then looks back at us. We're all aiming our butts towards the microphone, like ready, like hands at the ready. And
Ready to slap.
all he says is just, "Oh my god." But he didn't say anything, and the ass claps are in there. So
Which song?
Grow up.
yeah, grow up.
You can't hear it that well.
Well,
but
It's
Make
there.
me
But
grow up.
now
I
that-
don't
now
want
that
that's like
you
an
know,
Easter egg.
yeah, now that you
I
know.
won't be able to unhear it.
there you go.
Yeah.
There are also some thigh
I feel
slaps
like-
in there
Okay.
because my hand got tired and I was like, I'm just gonna.
We'll cop out with a good thigh slap. Yeah.
On a more serious note about
Hand
Abe
quotes.
and
Yeah.
like recording with them, this was my first time like ever doing any like professional recording of any kind,
Oh,
and
same.
he was so kind about the whole process and like explained everything in a non like mansplaining condescending
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
He was just so good. He answered all of our questions, and like we said, we were bits of goblins, but it was such a good and wholesome experience.
And he, like, we were like, please give us any feedback if you have anything. You're like, I think this would sound really good here or anything like that. He, like, on the end of Dog Days, we were like, this is kind of empty. Like, we need something. And he was like, let's add a riff. Like, I have an idea of a riff in my head. And he
Then
came
he
up with
just
the
did
riff.
it.
He just,
He
like,
just
did it.
Yeah.
Pulled out his guitar
And it
was like,
sounds so awesome.
and it worked.
Yeah, he's probably
He's
the
fantastic.
most, like high key, but also incredibly low key. The most talented musician I've ever met.
Incredible.
Just because
Oh,
he does
yeah.
everything.
I
Like,
know.
did you know that he can play like horns?
He
Oh,
looks
no,
like
he
a
plays
horn
the
player.
trumpet on,
Like, yeah, the
on
trumpet.
Nice's EP. Yeah.
And then he fucking mixes it all.
Yeah.
I'm like sitting here just like, when did you have time to do this?
He also lives in the middle of nowhere, so that
Oh my god.
that
yeah.
So
definitely
far away.
explains a
There's,
lot.
like,
Cannon
one
Falls
pizza
is not
shop.
the middle of nowhere.
It kind of
Next
is.
to the middle of nowhere.
No, I mean, high key.
Slightly to the left of the middle of nowhere.
Anyway.
Dude, there's like 2 pizza shops and 1 cafe, and that's it.
And then Abe's Garage.
And then Abe's go on.
And then Abe's dad just coming out and complimenting us so many times.
He was
We
so
were-
He was
friendly.
so
Which
kind.
is so funny because apparently he's so mean to like the nice guys. He's
Really?
like, I miss those ladies.
Really? I haven't heard about this.
Like weirdly
so
wholesome,
cute.
but still a boomer.
He comes up to say, he's like, apparently, allegedly, he's like, did you wash your hair? He's like, I miss those girls.
Wow.
How did you get connected with Brace Cove? They're one of our favorites. We love them. One of the best like DIY local labels. I mean, yeah. Just
So,
I guess to tack a larger question onto that before we get into it. And what made you want to work with a label at all? Was that something you wanted to do before you got connected with Brace Cove, or you just like Brace Cove reached out or whatever happened, and then you're like, oh yeah, this would be really amazing to do? Because a lot of bands in the scene don't work with labels, even just for like distribution and like promotion, which is like totally respectable. But I'm always curious why the people that do work with labels do so.
okay. All right.
Smiling.
So when we first started gigging like really hard, we were like, nah, we don't really need to work with a label. Like we had our entire plan set out. We were just like, we can do it ourselves, so might as well do it ourselves. So we were reached out to by Brace Cove via like the internet, just saying, hey, like, we'd love to work with you. And we kind of said something, hey, blah, blah, blah. And then it never really went anywhere, just because that happens all the time. Just like people reaching out and be like, hey, let's work together, and sure, whatever. And then we played this High Watch show that was
It's the equivalent of, we should hang out sometime.
Yeah.
8 months later.
And then they came to one of our High Watch shows and came up to me afterwards, and they were like, we really want to like release this album
Was
with
like
you
the full
guys.
quartet of them, or
Just John, actually.
Just John, okay.
Just John. I remember just John. And at this point, we were already working with Alexis Politz to do our single
actually-
cover art for Rough.
yeah, she's actually designed our new logos that aren't out yet.
Shit.
She's amazing.
We love Alexis so much.
Such a talented artist.
So much. So we were like, okay. And I had been doing some research at the time. I have this big spreadsheet that basically just counts like a bunch of different labels as like inclusivity. So just the bands, how many of those like appear to be femme, how many of those appear to be like folks of color, just to kind of like gauge if that's something that people value, because it's something we really value.
sure.
I think that diversity is the number one thing that will enrich our community. And Brace Cove by far had the best numbers. It's not all about the numbers, but they really do foster the do-it-yourself thing. So they really give us a lot of power and autonomy to say what we want to do and what we want to put out. And then they're like, we'll help you with it.
It's very collaborative.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're fantastic. Like I remember being like, so do we have to sign with them, or like how does it we're Taylor's like, we're already signed with them. I was like, what do you mean? I didn't sign anything. And she's like, they don't do like contracts or anything like that. I'm like, that's
Avoid a tiny
awesome.
engine situation or anything.
yeah.
I was definitely worried at first. I was like, I didn't know how it was going to turn out, but it's turned out pretty well.
Oh, yeah.
No, they're killer. Yeah, that's probably the best reason to work with a label, just completely sharing values on pretty much every angle. That's great. Did working with the label and connecting with Brace Cove, did that influence your album rollout? Because I know a lot of bands are just kind of like, hey, we put out an album today, and there's like no promotion. You guys are doing 2 singles, 2 videos, and I know it's usually only, with the exception of like the Happy Children, bands that have labels do kind of like release a single and like do a more formal announcement, and I like that better. But hey, I'm not going to criticize people who are like, hey, all my demos are online now. Was that something that you all wanted to do beforehand, or that had anything to do with Brace Cove?
So I don't know too much about how Brace Cove affected our plan, but I just want to give a huge shout out to Taylor.
Yeah.
Because they have had just such a solid plan for us as a band, and it's been part of the reason that we've been able to do all the things that we do. And they had a plan. They were like, we have an album. I mean, even when we first had like the first photo shoot with the 3 of us, Taylor was already talking, I think we should have like an album next like fall or winter. I think we should like plan it out like this. They just have a great business mind, and especially like music business. It's been
Well, isn't that their major?
Truly
Yes.
and honestly, Taylor, we wouldn't be a band without Taylor.
Stop.
No,
I'm gonna cry again.
Taylor works
No.
so
So
for real.
hard.
She's like the rock of our band. She's so great.
absolutely.
She's like band manager and
I can't tell if they're
and
faking
part of
it
the
or
band
not.
all at once.
Are you?
We
Taylor's
love you.
crying.
We're having some happy.
So normal for me. Okay, so actually, we had this very, very like strict plan where we've known that we were gonna release like Rough yesterday for so long. And it's even to the point where like Brace Cove reached out to us and they were like, are you sure you don't want to like wait a little bit longer and like push it out just so that we can really like kind of take our time with it? And I was like,
No.
no, I think we need to do it now and here and this part. And they were like, oh, okay, that sounds dope.
Cool.
If that's, because I think they're trying to just like relieve some stress on our part, and we were like, no, we want it. Like this is.
We're like, we want to release music now.
Yeah, like
Seriously though,
I
We're
wanted
sick
to,
of not having music that people can listen to.
yeah, I wanted it out this year, like specifically 2019, and then like, because I have like this very big vision that like
big brain.
Big brain. That like just like our tentative plan, it can change at any point. It usually does. But yeah.
They were like,
I don't
maybe
know.
the 30th show could be a hype show. And we were like, no. People would kill us.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it was definitely more us that were like, we need to do this. Brace Cove has only ever supported our decision, if not tried to alleviate some stress on our part, which we said no to.
We like stress.
We love stress.
I love band stress specifically.
Yes, me too.
Just put out music video for Rough yesterday. Really great. And then putting out the music video for Grow Up in a week. Just talk about that, because the first one directed by Emily Nordstrom. It's always fun when directors aren't in the scene and it's just like they have their own separate artistic thing, and it's like, oh, they just did this and it's great. And I think the same thing with Jules Pivek. Is that how you say their name?
Yes.
Okay. They directed the Grow Up video. Just talk about how you got connected with them. I know you kind of alluded to that earlier, just with the Indiegogo and being able to pay people and collaborate with that like very open-minded, very just people like that. Why 2 videos? Why those 2 songs? Why the concepts? Because like obviously first one Scream themed. Is the second one Alice in Wonderland themed?
Ooh, that would have been great. But
Because I just saw like a clip on like your Instagram story where it's like a little tea table in the middle of nowhere like that.
No, it's more like a birthday party.
Birthday party. Okay.
Yes. Okay. So Jules Pivek directed and edited. Directed and edited our Grow Up music video, which is the one that we will be releasing after you listen to this, I guess. But before we record, I don't know what I'm saying actually.
It comes out.
It comes
on
out for us.
Friday, November.
We're thinking possibly Saturday, possibly Friday. We're figuring it out.
Okay.
Just because Gully Boys are releasing a music video on Friday, and we don't want to like step on their toes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That way we can do 2 articles.
Yes.
Yeah, it'll be
Sorry.
out probably.
It'll be out. She directed our Grow Up music video. I actually have known Jules for 3 years now. We're actually roommates. She's one of my best friends. She's a film major at the University of Minnesota and studies film. And so when we had the idea of music videos, I was like, oh, well, gotta use her. Can't not do that. But yeah, it's been really fun to work with her as a like director and like as a friend. It's a really interesting vibe that I think kept everything super light and fun.
Who came up with the vision for each respective video, but for now, Grow Up?
You guys worked on it together.
Yeah, so
We knew
for
we
Grow
had the
Up-
theme of birthday.
Fitting, yeah. Given like the
So
Walmart
all we knew was we want to have a birthday party theme
and
Well,
then-
at least for one of the videos.
for one of the videos. Yeah.
so we had
For
the
Grow Up.
birthday party theme, and then we had like a bunch of like specific small things that we wanted to have happen, and then
Cake fight.
cake fight. Yes, there's a food fight.
There's
Spoiler.
little us's. There's little Vial.
Actual
Little
children.
Vial.
Yes,
Actual children.
Actual children
Little
in
versions
it.
of us.
But what's really funny is that my little sister is playing Kate.
Yep.
It's
So-
Katie's little sister and her friends.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I know.
But concept for Rough, you and Emily
Yeah.
worked on that, right?
So Emily Nordstrom, she's my really good friend. We have been friends since like junior high. We were in a video production class together in high school called Cutaway Productions. Actually, Colin Campbell and Evan Campbell were also in that class, and that's how I knew them. So we've actually worked on a bunch of projects together before, and she made the leap. She goes to MCAD, Minneapolis College of Art and Design, yeah, as a film major, and she's fantastic. And I was like, I know I want her to make us a video at some point because I love working with her and we work really well together. So we Taylor and I sort of met with her at a coffee shop and we were like, okay, what are we going to do? Because how did we even come up with Scream?
all right. So I had this dream where basically it was the beginning of Scream, except right before the guy kills the Scream
Drew Barrymore.
kills Drew Barrymore. Drew Barrymore and the guy fall in love. And the guy ends up converting Drew Barrymore to be another Scream. And the rest of the dream was just like them like frolicking and going on really
Murdering.
cute. Yeah. And going on like really cute dates together. Like they're both Screams.
Ghostface.
They're both Ghostface killers. And that's kind of how it started. Is like I had this really wacky dream, and I think that we should incorporate it somehow.
We were like, hey Emily, what do you think about that? And she was like, she's like, I love Scream. Let's work on that.
Yeah.
So we were originally like, oh, we'll do the opening scene from Scream and then they'll fall in love and do weird stuff together. And she's like, why don't we just do the opening scene and like make it cool? I was like, that sounds like a great
You kill
idea.
Ghostface.
Yeah, we were like, we want to flip it so that he doesn't win and we win.
Yes.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
So my house, we filmed it at my house and it was so chaotic. There were like, my whole family was there. 2 puppies were there. It was a lot,
It was a lot.
but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. I finally got to achieve my dream of being Skeet Ulrich, so it was great.
Wow.
Just really admiring that.
What do each of you want to get out of Vial? Specifically, then, like, I know before you talked about like why you wanted to make Vial in the first place and what your messaging and your kind of thesis is behind pretty much everything, I guess, all of your creative vision. But just on a more personal level, what do you get out of it, and is that what you wanted to get out of it? Is there like what? I don't know. That's, I think, broad enough to get started.
Well, for me, it's always like been my dream to kind of be in a band and to play, just play music, no matter what type of music or what I'm doing. I just always have wanted to do this, And so, I don't know, it's kind of like a dream come true almost. It's really very amazing. I don't know. What else to say. It's I had something else, and then I'm now lost.
Aren't we
in
all?
my mind? What I want to get out of it. I want to make
Why was it in your
music.
mouth? Ugh.
I want to make music to like that other people can listen to and be like, damn, I feel that too.
I totally,
Yeah.
we want to write music for people who don't get to hear themselves in regular DIY music. Probably could have worded that better.
That's good. That's good.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Speak
But
better, please.
When they first like messaged me and we were like first starting the band, I was taking physics 2, OChem 2, and medical terminology in the summer. And I was like, I need a creative outlet or I'm going to die.
Yeah.
And it's been so fantastic, like just mental health wise. It's like really awesome to like get stress out of your body and just hit stuff. Like it's so fun.
Well, I have gotten just so much out of this band. So like I said, I didn't play music really after I graduated high school. And like when going through college, I had some mental health issues and just like, general college stuff, being an adult for the first time. And I lost a lot of connections.
Yeah.
With like people that I knew in high school and from like other programs outside of that. And then like I finally started like not getting back on track, but like picking up and like realizing who I was like the semester before we started. And for that to happen, and then just to first of all reunite with Taylor, who I've known for so long, and then who I lost contact with for a while, and then to just have this part of my life back has been so fulfilling. And just like being able to have that creative outlet and put like creativity into things and show them to the world and have people like them, like that just makes me feel so good. I don't know how to describe it better, but it's been so fulfilling and so
Sometimes that's all you can
rewarding.
say. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, it makes me happy.
Yeah, I think I can talk more about like what I didn't realize that I was gonna get out of it that I do now think that like oh shit was that like I like started this with like 3 human beings with me, and then 2 human beings and Kate,
And Beelzebub.
and Beelzebub. But then like very quickly they became my best friends, and like that's not really something I was expecting. Well, like I just didn't like plan on it. I just like it just kind of
Really
happened.
bums me out.
It just kind of happened. No. It was so rewarding to like make music and like KT. That was my dream and that was what I wanted to get out of it. But I think I got something like even more out of it is that like no matter what happens, no matter what happens is that like I have 3 like people that like I feel like are my ride or dies now, and it's so vulnerable to make music together, and we can just like sit there, be vulnerable, and cry together and like have a good ass time.
Dude, I feel so lucky because like where else are you gonna find like 3 super cool, down to earth, talented femme people? Like where else are you gonna find that? I don't know. I got lucky.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I don't really have a community at school, and I feel like I don't know. I think every Thursday night, our rehearsal night is like my favorite night of the week because I just get to hang out with my best friends and make music. You know, it's fun.
That's the punk heart right there. Just,
Heck yeah.
yeah. What? How has the scene supported you, and how has it challenged you? Because
Ooh, we got into
definitely
it a little bit
mentioned some
already.
challenges before. Aside from the But the Vibes Row band, we don't need to rehash that because that will stay in. As a band, what have you
Dude,
learned?
I kind of want to tell that one story. Which one? As a challenge.
Okay.
We'll talk about support in a second.
This isn't like an essay question. It's like, write about one challenge and one.
Oh, please do it. Yeah, do
Oh,
it.
no.
We were playing a show, and there were a lot of bands on the bill, and we were
All of them male bands, by the way.
there was not
Shout out
one
men.
other non-man on the entire. There were like 8 bands. There was not one other
Who the
non-man
hell?
on
What
the bill.
kind of shitty booking agent? Oh.
Yeah, but so we went.
It's the poorhouse, if that
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
my God.
okay.
I forgot
makes
we did
sense.
that.
Yeah.
I'm black.
Oh,
Continue.
man, we got our tea and we're spilling it. So we played, and then before the show, like none of the other bands really talked to us. I don't know really why. I don't know if they were intimidated or if they just didn't really. I didn't know if they knew we were.
They're
a band.
just afraid of girls.
I don't know. I don't know
We
what the
have
reason was.
cooties.
But afterward, a lot of them came up to us and was like, "That was awesome! Like, great job." But this one guy came up to me, and I'm sorry, I'm dying. But he goes, "Oh, your drumming was really on point. Great job." I was like, "Oh, thank you." And he goes, "Yeah, like the stereotype about girl drummers is they're like not good, but you were like really good." And I just
What?
went, I was like, "Okay,
Thanks, bro.
thanks." And then I walked away.
Yeah.
And luckily, you guys were standing next to me, and you heard the whole thing.
And even your roommate Alex was like, "Did that really?
Did
just
that really just happen?"
Actually say
Yeah,
that?
that's like the stereotypical,
Like,
just like
he totally
ignorant.
thought it was a compliment.
Yeah.
He thought it was
And
a
he probably
compliment.
was like, she's gonna want to like hang out later.
"Oh yeah, like so they're like they're gonna want to play a show with us." I was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe it."
So going off
So little things like that, where people think they're being friendly or they think they're being helpful, but
Yeah.
they don't realize that it's
It's just
condescending.
They're posturing.
Yeah.
Like I'm an ally.
Exactly.
Unless
Like,
What's great though is that there are many more bands than people like that are a lot nicer and that
For sure.
are a lot more supportive.
for sure.
I also had another challenge that I was reminded of at not too many challenges. They just, they stick out in your head. But
Yeah.
you mentioned how nobody came up and talked to us because either they were intimidated or they didn't know we were a band. I remember one of the first shows that I played with us. It was probably like the 3rd show. It was at the original Murder Trap.
Oh my god, that show.
And we'd come in. Taylor, we all brought the entire sound system. The kit, everything was us. And Taylor had been setting all of it up. And then there was some sound issues. Not issues. People were being very rude. But
Thinking they know how to work the sound system and they don't, and they're way too confident.
Yes.
Yeah.
Classic.
So that was happening, and then we took a tiny break from that to go set up merch, and there were just these 4 dude bros sitting on a couch, and we could just hear them say, "Oh, why are those girls setting up merch for Vial? I don't even think they're here yet." And then the guy sitting next to him was like, "Dude, those chicks are Vial." It was like, "Those chicks are Vial?"
They were definitely not sober, to be fair. But
To be fair.
That's
But that was just an astonishing moment because, like, you go through everything, you set everything up, and then just, those chicks are Vial?
what?
Yeah.
dude, and not even like you were setting up and they were like, go work sound again. It's like,
Yeah.
we're not your employees.
Oh my
like,
God, no.
There's
Sorry,
I'm
can
sorry.
I-
Go ahead.
And this was not the Murder Trap people. This was like the other artists
love
on the
the
bill.
people who
I
are
would
Murder
love
Trap.
to say that just because the Murder Trap people are like super feminist badasses. Like I love them. It was the other artists just.
There's a very good song by the Tuts that definitely summarizes up all of the challenges we as a band have had and probably will continue to have for years and years to come.
Love that.
The song "Tut Tut Tut" by the Tuts. Check it out.
Shout out the Tuts.
If you
love
want
the
to know
Tuts,
what
dude.
if you want to know what any female band goes through.
yeah.
Well,
Let's talk about support. Let's
Yeah.
be positive.
Yeah.
So I've got support. I feel like because of those like downfalls, people spend like a little bit extra time paying attention to us just to see like what the hell is going on. I feel like we get a lot more of the eyes at house shows, just like people coming inside to like, see the girl band, which is totally fine. Like that's awesome. Like you're here to support and show up. But a lot of the people that we've been seeing are people that haven't been to the music like scene. They're new. They're just coming in because they have told us that they finally see themselves represented. And it's like these people that just like show up to so many of our gigs, just like constantly supporting us and bring their friends. And it's all just like people who are new, fresh faces who are just here because they finally just like see and hear themselves represented through like the music and like through what we look like. And that's been really rewarding. Sorry. But I remember I heard a little girl come up to Katie at She-Rock. If you want to tell
This is
the
my
story.
favorite story. We played at She-Rock. This was like our 3rd gig ever. And Kate was still in DC.
It was at the Girls Rock and Roll retreat.
Yeah.
Yes.
So afterwards, a bunch of the little girls come up and they ask for autographs and stuff, which is so cute. But then this little girl came up to me and she's very quiet and timid. And she goes, "I hope that someday I can play drums as good as you." And I was like, ah!
Just screams in the child's face.
In reality, I was like, "I'm sure you will. Just keep practicing. You're going to be great."
Yeah.
Aw.
I mean, for a lot of them, I'm sure it's like some of the first, like specifically like percussionists.
Yeah.
You don't see a lot of like non-male percussionists, and so I'm sure it's to see one like absolutely rocking the fuck out. Like, it's probably pretty cool as like a
Yeah, the only femme drummers that I can think of really is like Gully Boys, Last Import, Keep for Cheap. It's difficult to even think of some.
Yeah, even like a band like Partition is very like open.
But I
with
absolutely
their
love it.
embracing
Like
of-
I've definitely bonded with people over that. Like
What?
because you're not just the drummer, you're the femme drummer, you know?
yeah.
What I even thought was really cool was at our most recent gig that we played at Moon Palace, there was a little boy who came in and he was wearing his big fat headphones to keep his ears protected, and he brought his little drumsticks and he was drumming along to Katie the whole entire time, and it was just so cute.
I saw that out of the corner of my eye and it made me so happy.
Yeah.
Kate's freaking out.
Shout out Titus Yetis. That sounds like the best show.
Titus Udis was a very supportive, lovely
Aiden's doing great. Yeah.
show.
Another great support. So this kind of goes off of what Taylor was saying with just like our people who've come out to like all of our shows. There's this one person who was at a bar that we played at for an unrelated reason, and I can't get too much into the specifics because didn't ask for permission to share the story, but they heard our band just like playing in the background, and after they heard us at that bar, they have come to every single show that we have had, and it's just so uplifting to see their face in the crowd and just like know that, like, I mean, because like we've talked to them and we've hung out like at a couple of like shows, and they just talked about how they didn't listen to local music like at all, didn't go out to shows really, and then they accidentally heard us that one time, and now they're coming to all of these shows and they're like meeting people and having a good time. So it's really great to see, like, to have the support and then to watch it like ripple out, I guess. It's just really fun to build a community.
All it takes is one band to
exactly
get
had
you involved.
I don't mean to like toot our own horn, but like we've had like
Not like we haven't
a
been
lot
doing that
of
for the past.
we've had a lot of like just not even like little girls, but like females that aren't even like within the scene. They'll just see us play. They'll just come to a house.
We've had a
show
lot
just
of
'cause.
like the
They'll-
girlfriends of people who are playing,
and they'll
the
be
show.
like, I never imagined that, like, you know, someone
dude,
like
it's so
me could
fun.
do that,
Like
you know?
sometimes I remember one time we played Truth Hurts
Yeah.
by Lizzo, and it just like all the femmes in the audience like lit up. It's like, yes, finally playing something for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that people lost their shit when you guys did that at
It's
Row
so
House.
fun.
Yeah.
Ooh, I have one challenge, a
One-
small challenge.
One small
Can I
challenge.
say a support quickly?
Yes.
Because I want to balance it, you know?
Yes.
The challenge is that Katie talks too much.
Oh my
Damn.
God.
Wes just freaking owned you.
Wes, what the fuck?
We've been here for like 2 hours. It's fine.
Yeah. A lot of, so we don't really have our own drum kit. Like I have one to practice on that's like electronic,
Okay.
but we have the breakables, like we have cymbals and snare drum and kick pedal and stuff, but we don't really have our own kit. And so almost every time that I've asked like another drummer in the show, like, hey, would you mind if I borrow your hi-hat clutch? Would you mind if I borrow your kick pedal? We don't have ours. Very supportive, like so willing to share. And that's like what DIY is all about. It's been really cool.
People that miss that point are just like baffling.
Yeah.
Like, what if I just didn't support people? Like, then get out.
And I'm like,
please.
I promise I'm a pretty soft drummer compared to other people who play. I will not destroy your
yeah.
equipment. I promise.
What local, either non-local or local, but what like albums and songs have you guys been enjoying listening to lately? They don't have. Yeah, everyone pulls up Spotify. I'm used to
Everyone
it.
grabs their phone.
Yeah, doesn't have to be from this year. Just like
Did you want specifically local
Freaking
bands or
local or non-local.
local or non-local?
I mean, it's cool if they're local because
Yeah,
spreading the
for
love.
sure, for sure.
And they almost always are local, even if I don't specify. But don't want to put that constraint.
So, Gully Boys released like maybe like 10 seconds of a song yesterday,
Yep.
but oh my fucking God, it's already my favorite song.
Yeah.
It's called Waste My Time. They recorded it.
Yep.
Yeah, they recorded it at Pachyderm, I believe, and they're releasing the music video for it next week.
Next
and it's
Friday.
already like one of my favorite songs.
It sounds so good.
Oh my God.
Going non-local, like I love all local bands, but a lot of them don't have music out currently, so I don't listen.
Or it's only on Bandcamp, which is like kind of an inconvenience.
So
even
it's
if
it's hard to listen to like a bunch of local music, but like a band that I have currently been into, that I've been into, it's like my favorite band ever. It's called Hers, and they're, I don't know.
I feel like I've heard of them, but
Yeah,
I don't want to be projecting.
they've been in the news just because they're dead.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
No, yeah, but they were before they died.
All of them?
Yeah, no, yeah. There were
was it a
only
car crash or
It was a car crash, and there were only
Oh.
2 people in the band, and they
Yeah.
both died in it.
Oh
so.
no.
Yeah, it's very sad, and it was very
Yeah.
sad when I heard about it. But aside from that, their music is just fucking fantastic. So
Yeah, check out Hers. Okay.
One band that I got into about a year ago, but
I can't
they
remember,
fuck
man.
so hard all the time. Girlwood from
Yeah, Partition just played a show with them like
Yeah.
yesterday or 2 days ago.
yeah, it was super.
You should have seen Taylor's body just now.
But yeah, Girlwood fucking rocks, fucking slaps. The song "I'm Your Dad." Oh my God, so good.
Go.
Thank you so much to Vial for burning down our house and murdering our integrity. in the best way possible.
Thank you
This
to
is-
Wes and Joe for putting up with us.
Yeah, we love your
Mo-
coffee.
mostly Joe, because I just get to do the interview. I did get to do the fun part this time.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh darn.
Thank you, though.
Maybe
Check them out. They will, I think, at the time of release, either have an album coming out very soon, or will have it out. At the very least, check out the singles. They're on Bandcamp, YouTube, all the good old. Yeah, got to game the algorithm. On that note, yeah, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
The Ear Coffee Podcast is a companion to the blog of the same name. If you like this episode, please leave us a rate and review so we can stand out among the other music podcasts. You can follow us at Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram @Ear Coffee. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.